Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to solve Cambridge O-Level Physics Paper 1 multiple choice questions, specimen paper for the physics. I have solved all the recent paper for the physics, and so I decided to solve a specimen paper for this session. And we have the subject code of physics is 5054, and the specimen paper has a P1 code is 01 variant. This is the only variant. We have 40 marks for this paper, and this paper is carrying 1 odd. We're gonna start our question paper from question number 1. Small cylinder is rolled along a ruler and completes 2 full turns as shown in the figure. So this is a very important information that it completes 2 full turns. So its starting point is this, and this I will mark as 1.4, and its ending line is, if I'm going to write that, its ending point is 10.2. so over here there are 2, the difference should be 10.2 minus 1.4, and it would be equal to 8.8. and we know that the whole distance is covered in 2 turns, so 8.8 divided by 2 would get us the answer that is equal to 4.4 centimeters. So option number A is carrying that choice, so we're gonna circle that. So this was an easy question. Moving to question number 2. Which diagrams show the vector addition of a 4 Newton and a 3 Newton force? If 4 Newton is like this and 3 Newton is like this, then the rule is, for getting the resultant vector, we need to match the tail of the first vector to the head of the last vector. So this would be the only option. Over here this is the reverse. Over here the direction of 4 Newton is reverse, and this can't be possible. If this situation is here, then 3 Newton should be here, so this option is also wrong. Again, these two are cancelling each other, so it would not be possible due to this direction. So I'm gonna choose over option A. Moving to question number 3. The diagram shows the speed time graph for an object moving with constant acceleration. What is the distance traveled in the first 4 seconds? So we can get the distance by the formula of triangle, because this is the shape of the triangle. 1/2 base into height. Base is 4 and the height is 6, so we're gonna solve it. So 2 into 6 is 12 meters. So option number C is the right choice here. Moving to question number 4. Question number 4 is that, okay, now you can see the question number 4. An astronaut travels to Mars. Which road describes his mass and his weight compared with the size of the Earth? We know that mass is a fixed quantity and it doesn't change, and weight is a vector quantity and it depends upon the direction and gravity, so that's where it changes. So option number C is carrying, in which the mass is going to same and weight is different. Moving to question number 5. Which object has the largest resultant force? We can calculate the resultant force in each case. 10 plus 10 20, then 30. Over here the resultant is 10 Newton. Over here the resultant is 10 Newton. This is the same. So over here the resultant is 20 Newton, and over here the resultant is 15 Newton. So option number C is carrying the largest resultant force, so we're gonna circle option number C. Now moving to question number 6. A tractor pulls a trailer at a constant speed. The tractor exerts a force of 1600 Newton towards on the 1600 Newton forwards on the trailer. Which force is exerted by the trailer on the tractor? So it means that if it is exerting 1600 Newton, so in the forward direction, so it should be at the backward direction 1600 Newton to balance it out. So option number B is carrying that option. Moving to question number 7. Question number 7 is that a skydiver is falling at terminal velocity. What is terminal velocity? When paratrooper open his parachute, it slowly comes down, and until a time comes where its whole weight is equal to the air resistance. At this point, the net force is 0 and object reaches the terminal velocity. But at what position objects reach the terminal velocity? When the air resistance and weight of the object becomes equal. So at that point, object comes with a constant speed, so its acceleration would be 0. So we're gonna choose our option number C is carrying, acceleration 0 0, and what would the velocity, and velocity would be the constant factor. So option number C is the right choice. Which car experiences a resultant force that is not 0? Okay, a car moving along a straight horizontal road at constant speed. No. A car moving around a bend, yes. At circular path, this velocity direction would continuously changing, so that's why. I'm moving to question number 9. A car is designed to a stable where must be the center of the gravity of the car. If we want to design a stable, center of gravity should be low and it should be near the ground, so its stability becomes more. So we're gonna select our option. Above the front wheel, no. Above the rear wheel, no. As high as car, no. As low as in the car, I just discussed that. If you want to make anything stable, its center of gravity should be as low as you can make it. Okay, moving to question number 10. The diagram shows a block being pulled up a ramp by the rope. Okay, this is a force and this is a weight. This is the force is carrying with the rope, the weight. Okay, the block has weight W and rope is pulled with the force F. Okay, that block moves towards PR and is raised through the height QR. Okay, what is the equation for the work done on the block by the rope? And we know that its formula should be force into distance. Distance should be in the direction of the force, and the direction of the force is PR. So option number A is carrying that option, force into distance into PR. So I'm gonna select option number A, which uses a non-renewable energy resource. We know that non-renewable energy resources are those that will run out. So a geothermal heating, a nuclear power station. So this is a non-renewable energy resource. Moving to question number 12. Which expression gives the efficiency of an AC generator? You should know the formula of efficiency, and is always equal to output over input. So option number A is carrying, that electrical energy output divided by total energy input. So option number A is the right choice. Moving to question number 13. The mercury is a liquid. Okay, the diagram shows a simple mercury thermometer, mercury barometer. Which height is measure of the atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is the amount of pressure exerted on the air particles due to the force of gravity. So this is called atmospheric pressure. So over here we need to find the and we need to take this pressure from that surface to that surface. So option number C is carrying, that choice. So we're gonna select option number C. Moving to question number 14. Question number 14 is that a gas is sealed. A gas is in a sealed container of a constant volume. Okay, the gas is heated and the pressure of the gas on the walls of the container increases. Okay, how do the particles of the gas cause this? The pressure is always due to the particles colliding with each other and with the walls of the container in which this kept. So when the pressure is increased, the frequency of colliding with the walls will also increase. So option number C is carrying that choice. Okay, they hit the container with walls with more frequently because the pressure is increased. Now they have more energy. Moving to question number 15. A person cannot open a glass jar which has a metal lid. After the lid is held under the hot water for a few seconds, the jar opens easily. Which What is the expansion for this? The glass jar contract, the metal lid expand is the right answer. This is the question from the thermal expansion. Moving to question number 16, the more energetic particles escape from the surface of the liquid. Which term described from the surface of the liquid is always evaporation. If it is throughout the liquid, then it would be boiling. So option number B is carrying evaporation. So this is the right choice. Moving to question number 17. At the depth of the sea. Okay, the depth of the sea under a ship determined by sending a pulse of the sound with a frequency of 3000 Hz from a transmitter on the bottom of the ship to the seabed. The sound reflects from the seabed and returns to a receiver on the bottom of the ship. The time between sending the pulse and receiving the reflected pulse is measured. Okay. Now the depth of the sea beneath the ship is 600 meter and the time measured is 0.80 second. What is the wavelength of this sound of the wave? We know that the formula for the wavelength would be V is equal to F lambda, and lambda would be is equal to V by F. So first we need to find the speed. And how can we find the speed? By velocity, or speed is equal to distance over time. Distance is given, that is 600, but it is travel and it goes there and it bounces back to there, so we're gonna multiply it by 2 and the time is 0.8. So after solving it, would get the answer. Speed would be 1500 meter per second. Now substitute over here 1500 and the frequency was given in the question, that was 3000 Hertz. If you have seen it, 3000 Hertz. So we're gonna put value 3000 over here. So 1500 divided by 3000 will get the answer, that will be equal to 0.5 meters. So option number C is carrying that choice. So we're gonna select option number C. Moving to question number 18. Light is incident on the mirror and reflected as shown in the figure. What is the angle of incidence and what is the angle of reflection? So we need to find the angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Okay. Angle of incidence and angle of reflection. We know that due to law of reflection, it should be always equal of angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So option number A and D is carrying that option. Now we need to carefully observe that if this is 90 degree and this is whole 80, this should be 30 degree and this should be 50 degree, and if this is 50, this is also 50. So option number D is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 19. Question number 19 is that an object O is placed in front of the lens. The ray diagram show the path of the ray at the tip of the object. From this we can tell that the diagram is for the diverging lens, because they are not meeting at a point and these rays are diverging to each other. But for diverging lens, we always know that image form is always virtual. So we need to backward this line to, and if we back this line, the straight line, it would be passing from the point P. So it shows that its focus should be at point P. So option number B is the best choice over here. Moving to question number 20. Question number 20 is that from the topic of sound waves. A sound wave travel through the air. The lines in the diagram show the position of the particles of air at one particular time. Which distance is the wavelength of the wave? So you need to find the wavelength of the wave. If you look at the figure, this line is for rarefaction and this line is for rarefaction. These lines are for compression. So two consecutive compression or two consecutive rarefaction should have a distance. So equal to wavelength. So in option number B, there are two consecutive rarefaction, and all other option are this is rarefaction, compression, this is compression, and this is obviously rarefaction. No, this is compression, this is, but this should be over here, two consecutive. So option number D is wrong. So only option number B is right. I'm explaining again. This is compression, this is rarefaction, so this could not be wavelength. This is rarefaction, this is rarefaction, so this is wavelength. This is rarefaction, this is compression, so this could not be. This is compression, this is compression, but this compression over should be there. They should be consecutive, not to there is a gap. So that's why option number D is not the right choice. Moving to question number 21. The diagram shows an electromagnet. How can the strength of the magnitude field around the electromagnet be increased? Remove the metal core and decrease the current in the coil. Remove the metal core and keep the current in the circuit constant. Remove the DC supply and decrease the current in the current. Reverse the DC supply and increase the current. Yes, this is the right choice. If you increase the current and reverse the DC circuit, so it will oppose. So option number D is the right choice. Moving to 22, which material can be used as a temporary magnet? Be from soft iron can be used as a temporary magnet. So option number B is the right choice. Moving to question number 23. The diagram shows an uncharged ball covered with a metallic paint. The ball is suspended from an insulating thread. It is placed near a positively charged rod. Okay, you can see that if this is positively charged, this should be negative and this should be positive end. So option number D is showing that this is negative and this is positive. So we're gonna select option number D. Moving to question number 24. A charge of 45 coulomb through an electric appliance in 3 minutes. What is the average current in the appliance? We know the formula I is equal to Q by T, and the Q is the value of 45 and time is 3 minutes, and we need to convert it into seconds. So 3 multiplied by 60, so 45 over 180 will get the answer that is equal to 0.25 ampere. So option number A is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 25. A wire of length 0.50 meter and cross section area of 1 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square has a resistance of 0.75 ampere. Another wire of the same material has a length of 2 meter and a cross section area of 0.50 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square. What is the resistance of the longer wires? So we need to find the resistance of the longer wires. So we know that the formula for the resistance is R is equal to rho L over A. R is equal to rho L over A, and both material are the same, so density should be the same. But for the second part, we do not have the density. So from the first information, we can calculate the density, and the formula for the density would be equal to density is equal to R A over L, and the value of R is given, that is 0.75 ampere. So we could to substitute 0.75, and the area is given 1 into 10 raised to power minus 6, and the value of length is 0.5. After calculating this value through calculator, we get the answer that is equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 6. So this would be over density, and its unit would be kilogram per meter cube. Okay. Now put this value over here, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 6, and the value for the L is 2 now, and the area is given, that is 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 6. You can solve it through calculator. and you can cancel it like that. This value is 1.5. okay, now 1.5 into 2 would be 3 over 0.5. we get the answer that is equal to 0.6 ohm. So 0.6 ohm would be our final answer. 6 ohm would be our final answer. So option number D is carrying that right. So 3 over 0.5 is equal to 6 ohm. So this was a calculative question, a good question I must say. Which electrical symbol represent, question number 26, which electrical symbol represent a fuse? So option number B is the option for the fuse. Okay, moving to question number 27. 3 identical resistors are joined in series to a battery. Okay, which voltmeter Q reads 8 volt? It means over here it is, and these are identical resistors, so it would be 4, and this would be also 4. So total EMF would be equal to 12 volt. Okay, now we need to select from option number B and D, and if we look at the reading on the P, and reading on the P should be 4. So option number B is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 28. The EMF of the battery in a radio is 3 volt. The resistance of the circuit in the radio is 6 ohm. The radio is switched on. How much energy is transmitted from the battery in 30 minutes? So we know the formula, that is equal to E is equal to VIT, and we have the value of voltage that is equal to 3. The value of current is not given, so we need to find it. We can find it by Ohm's law. V is equal to IR, then I is equal to VR. V is equal to IR, then I is equal to V by R. So the value of voltage is 3 and value of resistance is 6 ohm, so we get the answer 0.5. So we can now substitute the value of current, that is 0.5, and the minutes are 30 and we need to convert it into 60. So after multiplying all those values we get the answer 2700 joules. So option number C is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 29. What is the unit for the energy that is used in electrical appliance? So it is kilowatt hour. Moving to question number 30. Okay, question number 30 is that a magnet, okay, now you can see, okay, a magnet oscillates vertically above a coil of the wire north south and moves PQR. As the lower end of the magnet oscillate between P and R, a varying EMF is induced across the coil. But when this EMF is 0 volt, what could be the lower end of the magnet be? So we need to find the lower end. Okay, so what is the EMF of 0 when and where could be the lower end of the magnet? If its lower end is not, and if it's not changing, it can be at P, and if it's not changing, it can be at R. But if it is at Q, it means it is moving. So its EMF current value cannot be, or EMF cannot be 0. So either it would be at P or either it would be at R. So option number C is that choice. Moving to question number 31. That is okay, which in transformer arrangement produces an output EMF that is larger than the input? It means it should have a step up transformer, and step up transformer From the figure we can see that the step-up transformer is B, because it has more turn. And why A also has more turns in secondary coil, but it is supplying the DC input, so that's why it is not the right choice. And D is for the step down transformer, and DC is again DC input. So option number B is the right choice. Moving to question number 32, why is relay used in a switching circuit? Or the function of relay, you should know that it is used. Okay, it is used to switch on a large set current using a small current. So we can use by applying a small current, we can switch on the large current. So option number C is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 33, a horizontal beam of electrons passes through between two poles of a magnet in a vacuum. This is beam of electron. This is, we know that magnetic field had a direction from north to south, in which direction the beam deflected. So it should be either into the page or out of the page. If beam of electrons are hitting it, it means it is so in that case the answer would be out of the page. So option number B is that. How many neutrons are there in one metal atom of the krypton isotope? So you need to subtract 84 minus 36. You can get the answer, that is equal to 48. So option number B is the right choice. Moving to question number 35, 14C6 represent a nucleotide of the element carbon and nitrogen. 14C7 represent a nucleotide of the element nitrogen. How is a neutral atom of a nitrogen different to be a neutral atom of carbon for C14C6? Okay, this is a very easy question. The nitrogen atom, we know that it has one more proton compared to the carbon atom. So option number D is the right choice. Moving to question number 36, radioactive isotopes emit three types of radiation. Which list give the type of radiation of their ionizing effect? We know that alpha particle had the greatest ionizing effect because they are the biggest in the size, and secondly second has beta and third has gamma. So option number A is carrying that choice. Okay, if the question was through the penetration, and then the answer would be reversed, it would be gamma, beta and alpha particle. Okay, moving to question number 37. Question number 37 is that which statement about the half-life of the radioactive isotope is correct? Okay, option number D, half-life is the time taken for the number of nuclei of the isotope to be high. So option number D is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 38, light from the sun travels to the earth at the speed of 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. The time for the complete journey is 500 seconds. What is the average orbital speed of the earth in its orbit around the sun? So we need to calculate. We know the formula is C is equal to 2 pi r over t, and this is not C, this is orbital speed. Okay, you can write OS or you can write S, and we know that distance is equal to r, and r is equal to speed into time. Then the speed is given, that is 3 into 10 power 8, and the time is given, that is equal to 500. So after multiplying we get the answer 1.5 into 10 power 11 meter. So you need to substitute those values in your original equation to get the orbital speed. So it would be 2, it would be pi, the value of r is 1.5 into 10 power 11, and the time t is, you know that 1 year have 365 days and 24 hours and 16 minutes and 60 seconds. Okay, after multiplying it you get the answer, that is equal to 3 into 10 power 4 meter per second. So option number C is carrying that choice. Moving to question number 39. In the sun, energy is transferred from an energy store. Which energy is being released, and what is the name of the reaction that releases this energy inside the sun? We know that the name of the reaction is fusion, because in the fusion the two small nucleotides join together and this section is nucleus. So option number D is carrying that choice. Moving to last question of our paper 40. The light emitted from a galaxy is redshifted when detected on the earth. How does the frequency of the light when detected on the earth compare with its frequency when emitted? In which direction the galaxy is moving? So we know that when it is redshift, it is moving away from the source, so its frequency should be less. So option number A is carrying that choice. Okay, now we need to already from that it should be direction away from the earth, so that's why its frequency is low. So option number A is the right choice. Hopefully you get the idea of this paper after watching this video. Thank you so much for the support, and keep your support. If you need any help related to physics, chemistry and maths, if you are O-level and IGCSE student, you can join our institute as well, Alif Lam Mim, and keep supporting, and I will keep improving my video as well. I read every comment and try to answer as much as possible. So if you do have any inquiries or anything left not to be fully explained through the paper, you can ask in the comment section. I will reply you ASAP. And keep practicing and keep shining, and thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz.